Hey guys, it's Tori. Welcome back to Adventure Awaits. I'm gonna start by saying this trip was an absolute dream for my boyfriend and me. You won't see me on camera too much in this one because I really just wanted to be present, soak in all of the beautiful views, and just enjoy the time that we had together without trying to make everything about filming and making things weird. Honestly, I was a little nervous to film myself talking to a camera. The whole thought just made me feel really uncomfortable. Glacier is also really busy. It's a very busy national park. So, in front of him, in front of all of the other people there, just wasn't something I felt super comfortable with. So, you're not going to see a whole lot of me in front of the camera. This is going to be a little bit more of like an ASMR kind of video. That being said, I'm still super excited to share this with you. Every evening we made a point to slow down and just really enjoy our lakefront campsite by taking our chair right down to the shore so we could put our feet in the water. This trip was such a beautiful reminder to unplug and just be. So if you're craving a little escape and some quiet time in nature, come along with me. Let's explore West Glacier together. After 9 hours of winding through the vast and open roads of Montana, we finally arrived at camp. The drive was long, but the podcasts and the landscapes made it go by pretty fast. We set up camp, made a quick and easy dinner, and then we settled down by the lake for the rest of the evening before we went to bed. Here's a little video tour of camp. We're in Site 15 at Sprague Creek. This campground is on Lake McDonald, and we were lucky enough to get lakefront sites. Our first full day in Glacier ended up being a little bit wet. It wasn't raining too hard, it was more of a light drizzle, but that's okay. We came prepared, we both had rain jackets, and we decided we were still going to go out and do the hike that we had planned for that day, which was Avalanche Lake. Very soon, very suddenly, this is going to transition to the destination for the trail. Between the rain and the fact that the trail was super busy, I didn't really want to, and I honestly didn't really think to film for most of it. So you're not seeing most of the trail. Like I said, it was a very busy trail. It's one of the most popular trails in the park. And even though it was raining, it was still very packed, and there were a lot of people. So unfortunately, today was even rainier than yesterday. Instead of trying to pretend that we were excited about hiking in the rain, We decided to take advantage of the gloomy weather and swap our plans around, running errands today instead of tomorrow when the weather was forecasted to be beautiful and sunny. Groceries, laundry, and the grand finale, a brand new air mattress, because sometime during the night, a seam on ours decided to just give up entirely. After all of that, it was still raining, so we did manage to squeeze in a stop at a brewery for a couple of beers and some live music too. Not exactly the most exciting day, but sometimes that's just part of the adventure. This morning, we woke up to no rain, and we caught the shuttle from camp at Spragg Creek up to Logan Pass, the starting point for the hike to Hidden Lake Overlook. And, well, the lake definitely lived up to its name because it was completely hidden in a giant cloud when we got up there. We waited it out for a little bit, and the clouds finally cleared, and the views were totally worth the wait. On our way back down to Logan Pass, we got to see a mountain goat. Next, we wandered over to the Highline Trail, where I hiked the first stretch solo because my boyfriend took one look at the cliffside section of the trail and his fear of heights said absolutely not. Once I was done with that small section of the Highline Trail, we got back on the shuttle and went back to camp, and we finally put the kayaks that we hauled all the way from Minnesota into the water. Paddling across Lake McDonald at sunset, definitely the best reward for getting those things all the way here. Which reminds me to just put a little disclaimer in here that Montana does inspect all of the watercraft that come into the state for signs of invasive species, and Glacier National Park also does this. They did tell us at one of the inspection stops that they had to chain somebody's boat to their boat trailer earlier that day because there were signs of invasive species. So, That is just an FYI if you're ever thinking about going and bringing some sort of watercraft with you. It includes stand-up paddle boards too. Oh my God! There's a deer! Let's get closer. No, don't leave. Wow. I was gonna say he's got some antlers. Hi, cutie. He's just following us. at least wedding photos. Congrats to whoever you are. You'll probably never see this, but congrats. This water is really cold. I would guess maybe 55. But it's so clear, like I'm standing chest deep water and I can see the bottom. I wanted to bring the GoPro in to like take it underneath the water.
Fucking submarine shots?
Yeah.
Up telescope?
down periscope. Sadly, this morning we had to say goodbye to our lakefront campsite. We packed everything up and took one last look at the perfectly still water and felt a little bittersweet because we were very, very grateful for the fact that we were lucky enough to snag a lakefront campsite, let alone a campsite in Glacier National Park, because it is wildly popular and they do go very, very fast. But we were still feeling pretty bummed that 2 of the 3 full days that we were there, it was raining. We only got to use the kayaks once. We were hoping to use them all 3 nights. So we were, a little bit bittersweet about that. But we still had some vacation left, and we were very, very excited to make our way east and check out some more of the park. I chose to leave this footage in here, not because it's anything fun or interesting to look at, but because it kind of gives you an idea of how busy the park is. This is the parking area for the Avalanche trailhead, so this is where Trail of the Cedars is and the trail to Avalanche Lake, which is the first hike that we did. So these 2 days, the rangers who were driving the shuttles were saying that they were the two busiest days that they've had so far this season. I'm assuming it's only going to get busier, but this just kind of shows you a little bit of how busy and congested the park can get, especially on the west side. It's the more popular side of the park. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this adventure as much as we did. Can't wait to share the rest of it with you. See you soon.